Hey everyone, guess what? You are here with me and Jake and Jacob from Redivider. Um, Again, for those of you that are familiar, this is take number two. Tends to happen, whatever. So let's Jake, welcome back from Hawaii. Blah 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 blah. Um, yes. Is that your cat,
Cat?
Jacob?
Do what?
Was that just a cat that was in front of you?
That was my dog,
Oh, okay. The chill one.
the chill one, the penny girl.
So I can hear the other one now.
Okay. I'll go
It's
shut the door. I'll be right back.
okay. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. It's great.
Yeah.
All going as planned.
Yes. How was your time in Hawaii, dude?
It's beautiful, man. I miss it, honestly. It was a really great trip, man. It was good to see my homie Molly over there. She's getting settled, and she actually fostered a dog while I was there, so that kind of changed things a little bit. I was became my little homie,
Yeah, I saw that.
my
I was like,
little
you're gonna be a
yeah.
dog dad now. Watch.
I've been thinking about it, but it I don't know. I'm probably too irresponsible in Louisville to own a dog. Hawaii Jake, maybe, but Louisville Jake, not so much.
I don't know, dude. There's some pretty fucking irresponsible people that have dogs, and
That's
it's
true. That doesn't mean there needs to be one more.
I don't know, dude. I think you would be surprised. I think that you are the type of person it'd be like having a kid. You're like, I'm gonna party my fucking dick off, and then you get a kid, and you're like, okay, now I gotta like do
Back
this
it up.
shit,
Yeah, for sure.
you know? So so let's talk about Sounds of Malice.
Yeah,
We,
let's do it.
thanks.
Sorry.
Now you're good. I'm just fucking around. So like the writing process for it, when you started it, like what was that whole process like, and how long did it take?
So like before, like, you know, Paul and I kind of started the groundwork after a previous project that him and I were trying to start up and stuff. So you know, that project kind of ended, and we kind of made, a pact between him and I. We're like, hey, we want to do like death metal now. So we started getting the groundwork. He had like a couple song ideas, and there was some things I wanted to do, and we kind of hashed some stuff out together, him and I. And so that within that time frame, that took about a month, almost 2 months, and then about that time we started looking for guitar players and everybody else who could join into the band. And we ended up getting Jake trying out for the band, and we jammed for almost a year. Once we got all the collective parts, the drummer was the hardest part to find, but
Yeah, it's
um,
great.
once we all were like a collective five piece, it took about a solid 8 months to a year to kind of get everything down, and where we could be like, hey, we have five good songs. We didn't have the complete album hashed out yet, but we had a 5 song set that we could go out and play shows with, and the whole process took about a whole year
And
to complete.
that was even just to play live. I mean, the whole process of the album took a lot longer. But yeah, like especially whenever I joined the band, um, and kind of just helping with the writing process in there, like Paul is truly you know, the the main songwriter of the band. But we can all just kind of come together and throw in our own little taste and flair, and influence and shit. But yeah, it definitely took a long time. I mean, with the from start to finish, we started recording the album in
23.
23, the summer of 23. So it, going through member changes and that sort of thing too. So it took a long time. I mean, and I honestly couldn't be more happy with it. Like, I'm sure Jacob can attest to this, that, that after a while it was just kind of became a running joke, about when we're
Yeah.
actually going to release it. But I couldn't be more proud of it, honestly. It's a good record. I hope
Yeah.
everyone's enjoying it.
You fucking should be proud of it. I mean, looking at the reviews for it and just hearing what people say, everyone's like, "Oh my God." Like, yeah, I'm telling you, these guys fucking, are one of my favorite fucking Louisville bands, right? And I say Louisville band, but I wholeheartedly believe that this goes out on the road and you are something that is much more than even a regional in my mind.
Sure. It's the
Yeah,
plan.
that'd be great, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of like
Yeah.
the hopes and dreams of it, you know what I mean? Like, we love playing out of town. Like, we love going up to Black Circle, and playing shows. We've played up towards like the south side of Chicago, twice. It was that once was at the Magoo's, and then what was the other one that we played at first with Pit Lord?
Couldn't tell you. But I
Which,
mean, it's been very regional thus far, but
yeah,
hopefully that'll change. We've got some possible runs in the works, like coming this spring, and things
like
will
later
open.
fall.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it all comes in time, right? Like we can't hit the ground fucking running, and although it's taken, two lifetimes to get the album out, um, like
not getting any
like
younger.
it, but the reality is like the product that you guys put out is not like in any way like a subpar product,
Sure.
right? Like it's fucking solid, and the live show that you all bring behind it is, it's tremendous too. I mean, that was fuck. I told Reagan, I was like, we're going to see Redivider, and he's like, okay, like I'm into it, and we fucking watched you guys, and he looks at me and he goes, holy fuck. I'm like, yeah, dude, I know. Like they fucking rip. And obviously, right, we believe in you, but beyond that, watching everyone watch you guys play at your fucking shows, they're fucking into it and rowdy as fuck, dude.
Yeah, we can't ask for anything better as far as like the fan base here in Louisville. Like, we got something really special here, you know what I mean? And I don't mean that in like a cliche way, but I mean like it's truly something that I hold like near and dear to my heart. Like, um, and part of that, like you were saying, like like the stage presence kind of thing, like that was the whole kind of first instance of why we wanted to start writing songs as a band was to where we can get out, be a part of the scene that we all are witnessing and watching, with our friends and stuff like that. As far as like the mag bar and stuff like that goes,
Yeah.
and so like we really took a lot of time, and like when we first started, because the whole start of the Redivider thing wasn't like like let's get an album going. It was more or less like, hey, let's jam with like-minded individuals, see what we can come up with, play a couple shows, and if it works out, we'll go from there. And that's kind of how it amalgamated into this album that we have now.
Yeah,
It was all like live purpose intent.
yeah.
You
It's kind
know,
of funny how the whole thing started. He's right, though. I mean, we didn't really have any kind of plans on really anything. Like whether it was going to be a steady thing or we played those first couple shows and then realized like fuck, we fucking have something, like
yeah.
let's explore it. So and here we are now. But yeah, it's just funny how the whole thing kind of initially worked out, because I don't think really any of us really saw it of much, just kind of something to do, like, hey, we all love death metal, so let's start a death metal band. It just made sense. But like to actually see it progress and turn into something has been pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like it's cool for me watching
Yeah.
just as a fan, right? Like obviously I'm a fan of the band, first and foremost. I want nothing but like I just want to watch you guys fucking play. I
Right.
don't give a fuck about nothing else, like I'm good. That's it. And you guys remember the fucking Death in the Midwest in Indianapolis. I
Yeah.
was Dude, I was so looking forward to seeing you fucking play. I was like, I bought my shirt from Jake. I was like, yeah, I'm fucking ready. Like, nothing's gonna stop me. And
Except
then,
the Transformers.
Yeah, fucking drunk driver did.
yeah, yeah, I was like, you
Yeah, dude.
motherfucker.
Yeah, it was
That was
nuts.
a fun night though. Like in
Yeah.
general, like that was just a all around like good time at Black Circle, man. Like that
Yeah, it
that
just
fest was pretty
it
good.
was cool. It kind of left, us in deterioration in the dark.
Yeah,
Because
we got
Literally.
to play with We got to play with Massacre because of
shortly
that.
after that, yeah.
Because Dustin,
Hmm.
Dustin from Flesher, he was like, "Hey, like I'm sorry you all didn't get to play. You know, we'll get you on like a show here soon, back up here, and we'll get you to play to the crowd and stuff." And he's always kind of taken care of us in a sense of like that if something ever came up, and you know,
He's fine.
oh, I was like, "What?"
Yeah, he's probably just puking or something and doesn't want it to be on camera.
Oh,
Oh,
me?
yeah.
Oh, I'm just getting high, dude.
Oh,
Oh.
whatever. You could do that on camera.
I
I
was
don't
just
give a
trying to be
shit.
polite, man.
No, well,
I mean, you're not out there smoking crack, so it doesn't matter. Like it's weed. It's pretty
Yeah.
accepted anymore, I guess.
Sure, sure.
So
but anyway, back on track. I mean, we got to play with a really awesome band called Massacre, dude. And I didn't really know anything of them, and like I didn't know that they had like a big South American like influence and like been a band for this long, dude. And we played that show, and I was blown away by that
aren't they
band.
South American?
Yes.
Okay.
Uh, uh,
Well, you said that you didn't know they had a big South American influence, and I was
Yeah,
like,
my dog, they're South American.
I I
That's
think yes. Um,
well, I mean, like I meant that in like a sense of like I didn't know that they were like a like top tier like big band, you know what I mean?
yeah.
I didn't know that like I was like, oh, this is just a band from South America, they're doing a US tour, because you'll see that sometimes like where stuff hits the circuit in the United States and stuff like that, but I didn't know it was like an actual band of like that had true substance, you know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, dude. Like they've obviously now, right? Like people fucking
Yeah,
love
dude,
them,
like
and
they
it's
played and they blew my fucking mind, dude. I was like, this
yeah,
is the fucking shit. Been listening to them ever since.
hell yeah. It's funny because you got Massacre and then you've got Massacre.
Yeah, I know. Well, and that was the funny thing. Sadistic Ritual that night was like, hey man, we've been on tour with these guys, like, don't call them Massacre. Because I was reading it as that, and I was just like, I talked to Jake for the show. I was like, is this the band Massacre? And he was like, no, these guys are different. And I don't know if it was like because I was nervous on stage that night or whatever, but I was like, like you kind of give a shout out during to the bands, like during at some point in your set, and
Yeah.
I gave him a shout out, and I'm pretty sure that I said Massacre. I was like, give it up for Massacre, and like, people still clapped and stuff, but I was just like, oh shit, I did the thing I wasn't supposed to do.
yeah. They've got a huge South American influence.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Just a little.
I'm fucking around.
I know. And we were just fucking with you, Jacob, because
I know.
it's
It's gonna be a
I,
meme now. Watch.
nah, not at all. But I think so many people, right, they don't know that. Like, and if this isn't your thing, if you're not really digging in, you don't know because it's literally spelled the exact fucking same.
Hmm.
So, like, is this going to be Cam Lee on one of his thing doing his thing, or is it like
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, I just saw the name and I was just like, all right, cool. I never looked anything up before the show. I was like, hell yeah, like let's play show in Indy. That was my thinking on it, and that band just completely blew my mind. Like their vocalist is super guttural. Like, I wish they spoke a little bit better English. Like their English is good, but like it's still a little broken in here and there, and like
yeah,
there was a language barrier there. And but I went up to him, I shook his hand, and that dude just like had good stuff to say about us too. So I was really proud about that. I was like, those guys dug us, and I was like, that's so fucking cool. Like,
yeah. Well, like I said, I think I wholeheartedly believe, dude, and I'll say it until I'm blue in the face. I think that you guys have something special. Um, it's you've got there's a chemistry when you guys are fucking playing. The crowd is into it. I mean, I want to be 20 years old, but I'm afraid I'm going to break a fucking hip. Like I don't
yeah.
need all that shit.
Yeah.
Um, but it's super fucking dope to see that and to see other people, right? Like latching on to it. So it kind of gives me like okay, I'm not just fucking delusional going, man, these guys are great. Like everyone
Yeah.
else does. I mean, I can't tell you how many people saw you open for Crypta and were just like, oh my fucking God. Yes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling.
What
Yeah, and like to kind of hit back on like Jake's point earlier, like, when we started the band, like, we were just like five dudes wanting to play death metal, and once we started playing shows and like we saw crowd reactions and, other people that just weren't our friends, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Um, and we were like, holy shit, we might have something here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and we kind of haven't taken that for granted, but like, like when we were making these songs, like we would jam some parts out and we would all get excited about certain stuff when it worked out. And, when you're jamming stuff, it like hits hard and you're just like, man, this is going to be so cool if we can play this in front of someone. And, yeah, like, we kind of knew that the collective of what we had, like, with Jake, Tyler at the time, Travis at the time, Paul and me, we all were like, dude, like we're some solid people. Like this is death metal we want to make and what we want to hear, and it transferred really well to the stage and to the crowd. So I can't ask for anything better because some bands start up, they put their whole heart into stuff and like it just doesn't pan out, and I'm just thankful for that. You know what I
But I,
mean?
I think I think there's a difference there, right? Like you guys started playing music to play music,
Right.
right? And other people, and I've had a lot of conversations about this, right? It's pretty mind-boggling to know like these some of these bands start and they're like 2 or 3 months in and they're like, dude, this is it. If we don't make it, I'm fucking done, blah blah blah. And like, my thought is, why are you playing music? Are you playing music to make it? Like, I'm not saying that that's wrong,
Yeah,
right? Because everyone's got their thing. But if you're playing music to make it and you're not giving it 110%, then are you really playing music to make it? Or are you just doing something to waste some time? You know what I mean?
yeah, and that and to kind of like reinforce your point, like when we were making this record, um, part of the reason why it took a little bit of time was because we didn't want to settle on things, you know what I mean, and we wanted to take the time to actually like think things out and record things really well and like have the absolute best like quality of sound that we could have, you know what I mean, like we're not sitting here like oh hopefully we're gonna make it, you know what I mean, that wasn't the goal for the band. It was
Well, I
just more
know,
or
but
less like how do we get the best product of what we can achieve as individuals,
that's the difference, right? What you guys are going for is you want to play music and you want to play the best music that you can,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And there's you guys have talked to enough people. You've probably also seen it. The ones who are like we're gonna give it our all, and then they really don't. They like they've got like 50%, like, oh, I'll kind of give, but man, we're gonna make it. Like, no,
Yeah,
no. It
and
it
most of
also
those bands kind of flutter out like that are kind of like that. You know,
pretty
sometimes you might
well,
get
pretty
a fluke.
quick, and the music is subpar,
Hmm.
right? Like
Well,
it
because
just
there's no heart in it, when you don't have that, or
yeah,
when you have something like that,
yeah. You're playing for you're I'm not going to say an unethical reason, but you're not, to me, you're not creating art from the heart, and
Yeah.
that's where like the authenticity really fucking comes out. So, Jake, let me ask you, like, what when you started playing music,
Mhm.
what was like what was that driving force to pick up the guitar?
The driving force. I don't know, man. I mean, it was just probably with any other guitar player struggled, you know, for a while. And I mean, it got to a point where like I nearly gave it up. And it wasn't until a homie taught me how to read guitar tablature that like really started to help things along. But just I don't know, just it like once things started making sense is when, you know, the steam picked up a lot, man. I used to play a lot as a kid. So, like going through the fucking, Metallica Bible, as a fucking teenager, just being able to rip that shit. Just, it fucking felt good.
I was listening to Orion tonight. God, what a good fucking song that is,
Yeah.
dude.
I think I can still remember how to play that. It's been fucking 20 years, but
Still want to. I'm trying to convince Jake to do a cover of Blackened.
Why Blackened?
we
That's the heaviest Metallica song they got.
That
and we can
are
we can never agree on shit when it comes to cover songs. Like, huh? It's really when it
It
comes
don't
down
got
to it.
bass on it, but
I was
ours will
gonna
have
say,
bass.
dude, I don't know that I would call that the heaviest Metallica song because
To me, it is.
I it's just thin. And I say that I love Blackened. I love that whole fucking
Mhm.
album. Like I think it's a great album. And I don't know if you all know this, but that's the last thing that Cliff did is on And Justice for All.
Mhm. Yeah, man. The thing with that song for me is like the vocal callback in the middle of that song, like, and how it switches from alternating and how they did do that live. I always thought was really fucking cool. And it's something that I really want to incorporate, like with our music, because Xander, he does vocals now. You know what I mean? Like he's done vocals in the past, but I'm wanting to utilize that.
A little bit
With
more.
some of the new stuff that we're trying to write, where it's like we do have a callback or something within a song or something like that.
Yeah.
So I always thought that was cool within that song, given the riffs and when the build up to that point in the song of Blackened. I always thought that was really cool.
Yeah. I mean that was, dude, I can tell you right now, I remember listening to that for the first fucking time going, "Oh my God." I couldn't tell you how many times I listened to Injustice for All as soon as I fucking got it. But like I'm that age, right? Where like
Yeah,
Metallica, in the metal world was like you were, Metallica and Slayer and fucking Anthrax. Oh my God. Like
yeah,
what is going on? This is amazing.
exactly.
Mm.
That was kind of like my dad, like he kind of mentored me when it comes to metal and rock and roll, man. Like, from an early age, like he always, like he showed me the big four and stuff. But, like once I was kind of shown Slayer, I kind of like took like a way more aggressive direction than he kind of did in pursuit of music. But he kind of, he showed me Black Sabbath and all the greats,
Yeah.
stuff that I love now, but Slayer was like a big band for me when it comes to like I didn't think you could get heavier than Slayer when I first heard it. I was like, this is the heaviest band in the world. This is the fastest band in the world. And you don't go past this.
There were like literally, I think that was to me, I don't know that I would say the heaviest, but they were like right fucking up there. The thing I liked about it is it was so satanic. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh my God. And they were so even early, early Slayer for like thrash and heavier music, they were so commercially accepted and
Hmm.
so well known. Fucking even from Hell Awaits, dude. You're like,
Yeah.
what?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, dude, like, that was one of the first albums that I ever bought. Not that album, but Rain and Blood. That was it was that and Laid to Rest by Lamb of God was the first CDs I bought with my own money. Um,
Yeah, not me. Mine was, you're gonna laugh at me so much. First album I bought with my own money was Motley Crue, Girls, Girls, Girls.
Hey, that's still a tough record though, man. Like, I mean, like it, but I mean, given at the time, like you grew up in a different era than like what I did or even Jake did. You know what I mean? Like you grew up where you got to see Prime Metallica and Prime Slayer and Prime Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses and all these other great bands. I mean, you had the potential to see them. Not saying you did see them, but like
Right.
that's what you were exposed to. That was what was on the radio. You know, um,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, you kind of grew up in like the what I idolize as like the best era of music. You know what I mean?
mm, it's funny you say that. Like, it's fuck, I just had this conversation with someone yesterday. It's like, we can look back and go, man, this era of music was fucking great. And, if we look at the 80s, thrash was great, punk was great, not so much like stoner and shit. Like that wasn't real great, but we look at the 70s, and 70s had fucking tremendous fucking like stoner stuff. And then you had really heavy like blues shit in like the late 60s. And I say that because I think specifically about Jimi Hendrix, who I I absolutely love even today. Like, you know is there a best era of music?
I think it's subject to who you're talking to. You know what I mean? Like everybody has their personal favorites. You know what I mean? Like it's like a timepiece almost. You know what I mean? Like everybody idolizes a certain time period.
Yeah.
Of what they think fonder thoughts of. You know what I mean? Whether it be the 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, so on and so forth. You know what I
So
mean?
so like let's look at death metal specifically. And I'm not even talking about like good, bad, ugly, whatever. But like for you guys, do each of you remember what your like introduction to death metal was?
Yep.
Probably just early 2000s, like late 90s kind of shit is mostly what I circle back to. Uh like Unleashing the Bloodthirsty, that kind of era. But that and really like all through the 90s, and then like even now, man, like I'm just a fucking creature of habit. Like I just tend to listen to the same shit over and over again. Like stale, not really stale, but I mean I fucking like it. I feel like I like, like
Hell
if you
yeah,
come to
dude.
Metal Monday at Magbar, like it's the same fucking playlist, but it's like, it's fucking 12 hours long.
That's it, those are like I, I not really miss, but I enjoyed that was my first introduction to like super long playlists like Napster and Kazaa and all that shit, because you just fucking download literally everything and you're like, oh shit, got a virus. Okay, fix that. Okay, download some more shit. And before long, you've got this playlist that it'll go for 72 fucking years. You're
Sure,
like,
yeah. Ugh.
what the fuck? So, Jacob, what about you? Do you remember your introduction to death metal?
Yeah. So the first death metal song that I ever heard was Wolverine Blues by Entombed. My dad was I wouldn't say a big fan of Entombed, but he really liked like specific songs from them. Like he wasn't a big death metal head. Like, But that from like an early age, that was the first one I heard, and I was like, I can get behind this. But that's more like when they were doing like a death and roll kind of thing. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
weren't really like a true death metal, what we would call now. Uh, I, like once I kind of found Slayer, like I was saying earlier, I kind of went through a phase like when I was discovering music with like how fast can you play, and like the mid 2000s I feel like was a big spot for that with like how fast bands were going at that time, and uh like creation of like gravity blasts and stuff like that on like on the drum kit, and the double bass was getting really heavy, and like just how fast people were going, like Nile was like pushing a lot of stuff like that, but I wasn't really fond of like death metal like growing up, like as far as like a core genre. I got really big into like deathcore and like metalcore, like adjacent stuff, and
Which I think is pretty typical for folks like your age, right? Like
yeah,
that
and
is
like I was really big into that, like in like grade school and like coming up when I was like discovering like heavy music, and a big influence on me was like Whitechapel and All Shall Perish.
Oh, did you see? Sorry, dude. Whitechapel is coming to headliners.
Yeah.
They're they're playing with Entheos, who are fucking fantastic, and Tracheotomy, who
hmm
I dig a lot. And I hate to
I
say
think it's
this.
Mutilated or Mutilation. They're from like Indie area, or they're somewhere within this region. We tried to right when we
Is it
heard that show.
Mutilatred?
No, Mutilation, or it's Mutilated or Mutilation. It's not Mutilated.
Okay.
But right when we talked about it as a collective, we emailed headliners and was like, hey, like we got an EPK, like we got this, that, and the other. Like if you need a local band, like hit us up. So
Jacob
uh
froze.
oh,
You're
can you
just
still
sitting
hear
there
me?
like, yeah, we can hear you just fine.
Oh, okay.
But you're just
But
like,
yeah, no, I saw that too. I was like, well, all right. But yeah, we actually hit up headliners like right when we got like the notification that that was coming to town. So we tried to hop on that. But yeah, like like
that is
Phil
on my
Bozeman was like
birthday.
a big influence on like what, because I didn't know you can make sounds with that, like with your voice. You know what
Right.
I mean? And then I got into like All Shall Perish as far as like lyrical content and like being like anti-government type stuff, and just kind of moving like kind of like a punk rock teen type of thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I really
Um,
love Eddie Hermenda with like his vocal variation and pitching. I
so
look up to that.
so let me ask you a question.
hmm
Do you like him in Suicide Silence?
I think he does the part well. I don't necessarily like Suicide Silence without Mitch Lucker.
I don't like so I don't like him in Suicide Silence. I think, and this is, I don't know, like maybe it's because of the first thing I heard from him in Suicide Silence. I was like, what the fuck is that? Like that was my first thought. And like no disrespect or whatever. And I'm sorry, Jacob. This is fucking killing me. You
I
on the
know. I know. I'm like paused, but I mean, I'm just a big fan of him. I'm not the biggest fan of Suicide Silence. I never really kind of was. I did admire a couple of their songs, but I did enjoy them a little bit more with Mitch Lucker, R.I.P. But as far as Eddie Hermenda goes, I think he fits for what they're trying to do. I'm not necessarily like if that band was to come to town that I'm gonna like jump out of the way to go see them.
right.
Um, yeah, that's just kind of my thoughts on that.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. I'm going to that fucking Whitechapel show. I just saw um Entheos and Tracheotomy in Nashville last month, maybe January. Had to be January. It was a great show. Uh, dude, we're gonna have to make that picture of Jacob a fucking.
Yeah, how do you get that off there?
I
Oh,
think
I've got a blank screen. I don't.
You might try turning off your camera and turning it back on.
Mm,
He's like, I don't know. There you go. You're
there
back.
we go. All right, now I'm back.
That shit was
Sorry,
funny. You were
folks.
just
Sorry
like,
about that.
what's going on? No, no worries, dude. That was good shit. So deathcore, I think, really opened a lot of people up, and Whitechapel was like that gateway drug for so many people. You
Hmm.
know, I think Phil really opened a lot of people's eyes up to what, the possibilities of the voice. And then, we looking even like closer or more current, you've got um, Will Ramos and Alex Terrible,
Hmm.
who those dudes. I'm just like, how in the fuck do you make those sounds with your fucking voice? Like that shit is insane to me.
Well, and like Alex, I was watching a couple things a few years ago, like right when like Slaughter to Prevail was like getting big. I'm not the biggest fan of like more modern deathcore. I liked it in the early 2000s when it was like a true blend of actual death metal and hardcore.
Yeah.
Which is where you got the breakdowns from, but like most of the riffage was still death metal riffs at the end of the day. I mean there was some core elements to it that just kind of really blended the two genres, which I thought was always cool. But I watched a thing on him like back when I was like really trying to experiment with my voice, like early on, with like and I watched one of his videos, and he was like, "Dude, if you're gonna do this, you know." you need to do this every day if you want to do like if you want to achieve the things you want to do with your voice. He's like, you gotta do, you gotta experiment, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. But he was like, you have to do this every day.
Yeah.
And dude, I tried that, and like I got way better. I mean, just experiment, because you get to experiment with your voice if you're doing that. It's like practicing a guitar. You know what I mean? Like it might be boring at times, but you're gonna one of those times when it's boring, you're gonna figure something out, and you're just gonna be like, whoa, what was that? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, dude, it's like I look at it like working out, right? Like if you do it every day, like what ends up happening is you get stronger. So like you practice with your voice, you're gonna get stronger. It's gonna allow your voice to do things you didn't know, just like playing guitar, which I'm sure Jake can attest is like the more you do it, the better your dexterity. So you can play faster and do longer
Yeah.
runs and fucking whatever. So a I'm not sure about Phil, although I'm pretty confident that like I know for sure like Will and Alex both have vocal coaches, right? That have taught them how to use their voice better. I assume Phil has. I think he has, but I don't really remember hearing him say he did.
I think I don't know about Phil, but I know like a couple of those guys, like especially now, are going through like Melissa Cross,
Hmm.
which she has a good DVD called The Zim of Screaming, which I've watched. A couple. I use a couple of her exercises before shows. As far as like humming and trying to warm my voice up. I
Do you
mean,
do the straw thing?
I don't do the straw thing, but one of her exercises that I used was like her pencil method, where it's like you take a pencil and like you try to move your air over the top of the pencil versus underneath, to where you can. It just teaches you like diaphragm control and stuff like that.
Oh, that's
Uh,
cool.
yeah, and then there's just a couple of like her breathing exercises are pretty on point, which is what I try to utilize.
Oh
So
yeah. Well,
that was
I think that breathing is such a it is like the most important thing for a vocalist, right? Because if
yeah,
you're not,
that's anyone, like whether you're singing or you're doing death metal or anything. It's just like you go to any ENT and you get your throat looked at, and you're a singer. They're just like, keep air in your lungs. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to expel too much. You want to engage your diaphragm. You don't want to sing from your throat. You don't want to thrash your shit. You know what I mean?
yeah. I always did that. I always sang from my throat.
Well, I mean, but you got to start off doing that. I mean, like no one taught me how to scream. You can look up shit on YouTube. I mean, the best advice I can give anyone that wants to get into screaming, and I tell other people this too, is just like, if you want to do it, like, do it. If it hurts, it should never hurt. So, like, if you're doing it and it hurts,
You're doing something
figure out,
wrong,
yeah, just
fucker.
figure out another way because,
Yeah.
but that goes with like the experimentation of your voice. You know what I mean? Like, you have to play with it like that, and you got to fuck up in those ways where, if it hurts, you're just like, hey, how do I do this thing and get that same sound, but not fuck my voice up? You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's so wild. But that's all part of it, right? Learning the things that you shouldn't do or learning healthier ways to do it. Like not drink. Good boy.
Well, and like, and there's two schools of thought. It's like you either practice or you can do the Phil Anselmo method and get fucked up and thrash your shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but dude, like,
I
yeah,
don't mean that in a bad way. Like, but like, there's kind of like those two schools of thoughts where it's like smoke a lot of cigarettes, drink, and then like go out and do your stuff. You know what I mean?
yeah, which is it's so wild because there's great vocalists who do that too. You're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How do you fucking do that? But enough about vocals,
Yeah.
Mr. Vocalist. So, what like what band, if you guys could pick any fucking band to go out on the road with, what band would you pick to go out on the road with?
Cannibal Corpse.
I was thinking more of like a regional band.
You get
Maybe
any band, dude.
like any band. I was thinking more realistically. I was thinking like Cell Intruder, like One Body or
Yeah.
Pleasure or something.
Yeah, dude. No, like if
Like
we're
let's go on
talking
the
like
road with the
if we're
homies.
talking like what Jake is, yeah,
That's
like
what I thought we were
definitely.
talking about.
No, I'm talking about like dream band to fucking tour with. But those bands are all fucking rad too. Like those would be kick-ass fucking tours.
Dude, Cell Intruder's fucking killing it, dude. Like Louisville death metal is getting ready to
Homies.
come up in a big fucking way. Watch.
We're I mean, Gates to Hell's over in what, Europe right now, right? They're in UK,
Yeah,
I
they're on
think.
tour with Sangasugebog.
Yeah,
I think I said that right.
I think you did too.
Think Squish a Frog.
I'm always like, I don't
Sangus
know.
fucked a hog.
Sorry, Devin.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always like, shish kebab. We're gonna go see shish kebab, all right? Like, I don't fucking know. So funny.
I don't think they take any offense to people mispronouncing their name at this point.
I don't think so either. I think it just keeps their name in people's mouth.
Exactly. There's no such thing as bad publicity.
Well,
Even if it's bad, but it's still in the headlines. But I'm not
I don't
saying that's
know,
what you
dude.
strive for. I'm not saying that's what you strive for.
If
I'm
you're in
just
the
saying,
fucking Epstein files, that shit's bad.
yeah, that's fucking, yeah, that is bad.
Fuck all of those
You
people.
talk about evil shit.
Yeah. I'm not so opposed to eating kids, but the pedophilia I'm not into.
I'm not a fan of really all that. Like, and that's the thing too. We're a death metal band, but I've never been about like the big gore oriented stuff within like death metal. Like, I mean, I've fascinated by some of it, but I've always been drawn to like super high fantasy shit. I've never been like into like the mutilation part of stuff.
Right. Yeah, I mean I think it's just different, right? There's different brands of death metal. I mean, Death wasn't into the fucking gory shit. They were
Yeah, dude. And another big influence on like, dude, like that's something like Paul and I have been trying to like work on with like songwriting and lyricism is like, how I wouldn't say like how to sound exactly like Death, but like definitely like a big influence. Like Chuck is a big influence on Paul and I. Like me lyrically, Paul, guitar wise.
yeah,
That dude put such a human element into death metal that you don't really see nowadays, like even today. Like it's just those albums like I hold very dear.
Well, and that was, I think, something really cool that Death did. Like, I, I love Cannibal Corpse, right?
Oh
And
yeah, just
no,
straight dump truck riffs, like just mow you over. Just
yeah, dude, but
you know,
it's like this is gonna sound really fucked up, but to me, they're like the AC/DC of death metal.
Hmm.
You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like, you know what you're getting every fucking album. It crushes you. Their live show is great. It's just fucking boom. That is Cannibal Corpse. But then Death, every fucking album was so unique unto itself,
hmm
and it's that brings up the conversation with bands is like you have the bands who will do the same thing over and over or stick really close to this like formula that works for them. And then you have the other bands that they experiment with their sound. So, and I think that's one thing that really made Death stand out over and above everyone is Chuck's willingness to experiment with the sound and to push the fucking boundaries. I mean, I think what he they had 30 fucking different people through Death, through the fucking
yeah. They were
career.
like the Megadeth of death metal.
Yeah. And it was, it's so funny. And I feel like I've been reading Born Human, and man, what a great fucking book it is. If you
Didn't
guys
they just
have
make a documentary, like an actual movie of that, like an actual like film of that?
no, the book just came out like a couple of months ago.
I saw something recently where it was like it was another death documentary. I was thinking that maybe that was it or something, but might not.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I have to look because I'm on a fucking music documentary kick right now. I was like, I asked my wife last night, I was like, hey, I don't remember who it was. I'm like, do you like this band? She goes, we are not watching another fucking documentary. I'm like, okay.
Dude, have you read Finding Joseph I?
Mm-mm.
So you know Bad Brains, right? You know
Yeah.
HR from Bad Brains. It's just a book on HR, dude, and it's got like interviews from Brandon Blythe from Lamb of God. I forget the vocalist of shit. Um, Deftones. It has
Chino.
every like yeah, it has a bunch of just like different bands, like members of different bands in there that are just influenced off of like punk rock and HR, dude. And really good look little book, man. Like it's only like about like that big, but
Oh, nice.
I'm pretty
Dude,
sure they turned it. I think it was like maybe like right at an hour like film, but it's called Finding Joseph Pye. It's really good.
I'll have
I
to
like
check that out. I like that shit. Like that's one of the things that I really like about music is just reading the history of bands. Because you go in and you learn just so much shit. And it for me, I think a lot of it is with the majority of like successful bands. I'm sure you guys know this if you don't know anything else about me. One, I love music, but two, like the thing that intrigues me is how things are built, primarily like businesses and entities like that, right? So like when I like watching documentaries and reading about bands and finding out like exactly what they did to do the thing. And between like all of the super successful ones, it was very much maybe not all of them, but the majority of them, it was very much like we're laying it all on the line. We're gonna do this, and that's all we're fucking doing. So, like Slayer, Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, all of those bands did the same thing. They fucking got together, they wrote music, they got in the van, and they went. Testament, Exodus, all of them, right? And it amazes me the amount of grit that some of these folks have to get out there and do it. I think it's amazing because how many of us are going to lay everything on the line to chase our fucking dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like it kind of goes back to like you've probably seen it, but like Death to the Western Civilization,
Hmm.
like seeing like Pat Day, from the Germs, and like now he's in the Foo Fighters. Like, to watch that, like this dude's living in a fucking closet in that movie in 1984 or 86, and it's just like now that dude's living in multi-million dollar mansions. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But like that dude was just like, yeah, I'm a punk rock guy. I'm here to play guitar and fucking do the
Well,
damn thing. I'm a road
do you,
dog.
do you know like so I was a real big like grunge fan too, right? Like
Yeah.
I love that like era of music also. It's one of my like favorite eras of music just because like I grew up with it. I watched it happen. It was fucking amazing to watch it happen. But so do you know the story of like Pat Smear and
Or
how
Pat Smear. Yeah, my bad. I said Pat Day.
yeah, you're fine.
Oh, is that
Um
the fucking jockey? It was like, who the fuck are you talking about? Like,
that is a That's a real fucking Louisville thing, right? This
Yeah.
dude came out, he was 4'11". He jumped off the fucking horse and just fucking was punk rocking. Like, what
Yeah.
the hell? Um,
uh,
but do you know the story of how he came to join like Nirvana?
Yeah, it was through Dave Grohl because he met him through touring with Scream, right? How was it?
He was working in a fucking record store, and Kurt, at least this is what I like remember hearing a few times. Um, he was working in a record store, and Kurt heard that he was working in this fucking record store, and he was like, "Hey, Dave, you want to go see if this guy wants to fucking join the band?" Dave's like, I guess." So they fucking walk in and they're talking, and Pat was like, "Yeah, I was in the Germs." And Kurt's like, "Yeah, I fucking know, man. Like, I fucking love the Germs and blah blah blah." And like, right, didn't even ask him to audition. Was just like, "Hey,
Yeah,
come
you're
join the
in.
band." Yeah, that, that was
That's sick.
so. That was like Nirvana was that like
Hmm.
they were that band for me that I watched. I've really watched explode. Like it's so fucked up. I've got a for it's so stupid. My wife and I, when we got married, sh- she booked us our honeymoon to Seattle because, she's like, "You'll never do this for yourself, so we're gonna do it." And I'm like, "All right, cool." So we did. It was, dude, Seattle was fucking great. Such a great time. But so I was introduced to um I was introduced to Nirvana by the same guy that turned me on to like Slayer and Metallica and fucking Iron Maiden and all of that shit. And obviously it was a few years later when he introduced me to metal. It was probably had to be like 82, 83. I was 6, 7 years old. Like, that's so cool, man. Yeah, let's fucking rock and roll. But then 89, I was like 12. It was right before I turned 13, I think. Bleach was released, and I ran into him in the neighborhood, and he goes, "Hey, dude, I got this tape at the house. I think you'll fucking like." All right, like you've turned me on to a lot of music. Let's do this. And it was Bleach, and I wore that fucking tape out, and I shit you not, dude. everyone every one of my friends were like, "This is the worst shit I've ever heard. Turn it off. I don't want to fucking listen to it." And then Nevermind came out and they were like, "This is the best thing ever." And I was like, "Fuck you, you motherfucker." Like, so that's when I really started digging into like underground music because um it to me it showed me like the essence of music. It was not, you don't get forced, it's not force fed because my only like way to find music up until that point was the fucking radio.
Yeah. Yeah, and you were shown something and like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know if you ever tape traded, but like I know that was big back then, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like so it's like getting into the underground, like dude, like there was so many bands that came out of like, out of that like the Seattle scene and just, even like because you had death metal starting up like right around that time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like Cannibal Corpse started making their name for themselves right around that time.
Yeah. Cannibal Corpse was like 88. Death Possessed was like
Hmm.
early mid 80s. So to like have that, and that was like, digging into the really underground shit. I mean, dude, my introduction to death metal was on MTV. Was
No shit.
Yeah, it was Headbangers Ball.
Oh,
They,
sure. Yeah.
Saturday night, like they
Mhm.
played the fucking. It wasn't all the best shit, but
Yeah,
they
they played it. Yeah.
yeah, they played some killer shit, and that was like I stayed up every Saturday because specifically Death and Death Angel were the two that I wanted to fucking see. Um, but it was to uh, so Nirvana hit and really got me digging into fucking the underground shit, and it was Tomb of the Mutilated was my introduction to Cannibal Corpse, which was like 92, 93.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, this is fucking killer.
No, it's funny. I remember seeing Jim Carrey's or
Ace
Ace
Ventura.
Ventura as a kid. They're playing fucking Hammered Smash Bass, but I'm
Yeah.
like 5 or 6 years old, thinking like this can't be serious. Like this isn't music. And then fast forward, like fucking not even 15 years later, and it's one of my favorite bands.
Yeah.
All about the Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah, dude. I mean, they're one of those bands like, and it's so funny, the lyrical content, like I Come Blood.
Hmm.
Come
Chris
on.
Barnes for you.
Right. Like, but that Chris has his shit.
Hmm.
George has his shit, but it's all like lyrical, like how ridiculous can we get with with what this is gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, I think some songs, like especially like kind of the early Cannibal Corpse era with Chris Barnes was kind of more like that. Like they really wanted to push the boundaries of like what wasn't socially acceptable. Like we're just going to be this gore heavy. I mean, they're still gore heavy. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like when like George Fisher came in, like Corpse Grinder came in, um, like you got to think like with like that tortured record and like evisceration plague and like you know you had the song like Cauldron of Hate, like that's just all like bottled up emotion, like that. I fucking love that fucking song because like every time I'm pissed, like that's my fucking battle song, dude. Like I will fucking blast that and like go chop somebody's fucking head off, dude. Like Scourge of Iron type shit. Like I fucking
Yeah.
love like the George Fisher, the Corpse Grinder era. Like that's my Cannibal Corpse to me. You know what I mean?
Sure, that was probably also your introduction,
Yeah,
right?
and it was like, well, my introduction, like I knew of like Chris Barnes, like growing up and stuff like that, and like I always saw like the early album covers and stuff like that, but it was like I never was a fan of it. You know what I mean? I was just like, whatever. But then like, it wasn't until like about I'd say like close to 10 years ago, I had like a death metal kind of kick, like revival kind of thing, where it was just like I'm gonna dive back into death metal and like actually give it this big shot. You know what I mean? And like, because I'm not gonna sit here and say like, oh, my whole life's been about Florida death metal. It hasn't. You know what I mean? Like it's not. It's like, but what I play now with Redivider, and like what Jake and I play, and Paul and everybody, it's just like we're heavily influenced. Or not. I wouldn't say heavily influenced, but like we appreciate, like the Cannibal Corpse, the Deaths, the Morbid Angels, the Obituaries, like that's our style, or like I wouldn't say our style of death metal,
I
but
would
stuff that
say
we
you're
just truly
fucking
appreciate.
heavily influenced by it. Like
Yeah,
that is there is no mistaking that with your sound, right? Like, and it's death metal is so like particular to the region, and I'm so grateful for like Florida death metal because it has really it's it is that like connective tissue that brings people of extreme music together. There is a common denominator with any like Florida death metal band.
yeah, like it stemmed every part of extreme music. I mean, I wouldn't. All right, I say that lightly, but like most of the stuff that you kind of hear new today is like stemmed off of like that Florida scene in some way, shape, or form.
For sure.
Like it was such a big wave that crashed over the music scene when it hit. You
Well, and
know,
it was like surprising too, right? Like so much so that Cannibal Corpse went, you know what? We're fucking leaving New York. We're going to Florida.
well, yeah, and the reason for that, like, was because of the Morrisound recording studio. Because I forget the guy's name, but one of the recording engineers there, he was like the only one that was giving these bands clarity on the double bass when they would record. So, like, you'd go to most recording studios, they didn't know how to record double bass because it would
Right.
all just come out and wash the whole record out. You know what I mean? Like, it would just sound muddy or constant or whatever. You know what I mean? And it would just like, but you got clarity through, going to more sound and recording, and like, and it started building up a name for itself. And that's why Cannibal Corpse moved down there, was because, they recorded at more sound, and like Death and Obituary and Morbid Angel and all those guys did too.
Yeah. I mean, and it's funny, like death, you know, I think Chuck left Florida so many fucking times.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to go to California and I'm going to try there and I'm going to go to fucking Canada and we're going to do something there. And nothing ever like lasted until he was like back in Florida.
Hmm.
Um, there was he had a fucking house, dude. And I'm pretty confident. I know someone bought it, but I'm afraid they tore it down. I wanted to buy his fucking house. Like, like how stupid is that? Like, but
I
it
mean,
was
it's
like
not stupid, but like I get where you're coming from with that. But yeah, like yeah, it is. Like if you look at it in a certain sense, it is kind of stupid. Yeah.
it is kind of stupid. Like, it was Chuck's house. I want to buy the
But you're just like,
motherfucker.
man, I
Like,
just
You're
bought
right. You're right.
Chuck's
Fucking
house, man. Like that's fucking cool.
like,
Like dude invented death metal. Like why not? You know what I mean?
well, didn't really invent it, but yeah. See, like he's such a like, uh, his name is synonymous with death metal, 100%. You know,
Yeah.
what other bands like? So fucking funny. I'm such a moron. Like, I want to buy his house. It'll be great. Fucking dork. Um, what other bands like really, really, what, let's say today, aside from One Body and Cell Intruder and Flesher, what other bands are like stand out to you guys that you think other people should listen to?
We actually got a show coming up in April at Magbar with a couple of our homies out in Iowa. They're called Pit Lord. Uh,
fucking great.
they're
Oh, we're gonna
fucking legit,
barbecue.
dude. Yeah, it's just barbecue death metal, man. They're like Jake could tell you all about them, man. Like they're fucking heavy.
April what?
Was it 17th? Double check me on that.
That's not right.
I
I
hope it's
forget.
not the 17th.
I know it's like a Tuesday it's a Tuesday, isn't it?
I thought it was April 10th
April 10th. That's what it is.
or 11th. I can't remember either, if I'm
I
being
think you're
honest.
right. It's April 10th. 17th is Indy.
No, 27th is Indy.
27th. Hell, fuck, I don't know, man. I just
I
fucking do vocals, man. Like, I don't book the
He's
shit.
like, I'll just
Go
show
up and
up.
play. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, in April we got a show with Pit Lord, and I really that band deserves their flowers, man. They're legit. They're pretty cool. Like, I mean, it's not like traditional death metal. Like, I mean, it's all rooted in that,
But aren't they
but it's
are
like
they a two
it's
piece?
all, yeah. It's just a two piece. You know, like they kind of play with like it's all electronic drums, but like they just kind of write outrageous shit, and it's they kind of like do like a little bit of like a funny gimmick with it, and one, it's funny, and two, it's fucking badass at the same time. So
Write some
it's hard
killer
it's hard
fucking
to do
riffs,
both of
dude.
those at the same time.
Yeah, that's fucking cool. Now I need to know the dates for sure.
Right.
Damn it. Like
I think you're right. April 10th. Hold on, let me check this shit.
so I'm gonna be honest with you. I hope it's a Tuesday and not April 10th.
Sure.
Because
I think it's
April 10th is I Hate God in Evansville. April
10th.
11th is I Hate God in Covington.
So just see him the 11th.
Yeah, April 10th, Magbar,
Damn.
Yeah.
Pit Lord.
I guess I'm just gonna have to go to fucking Covington.
Yeah, they have a song, and it was one of the first ones I really liked from them. It's called Goat Smoker, but it's just a rip off, or it's not a rip off. They rewrote the song, but it's like a play on like
Dope Smoker.
sleeps. Yeah, Dope Smoker. Yeah, it's a play on that. It's just like some stuff that's rooted in there. It's pretty fun little listen, man. It's
No, they're
fun.
great, man. We played with them outside of Chicago, and this guy they show up and they're like, our drummer's here, and they've got this just old shitty fucking grill, and they just wheel up to the stage, and I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah,
And then seeing them play, just kind of dumbfounded. I was like, dude, don't ever get a drummer. Like that's
yeah.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, because
And
they
they got
load
this
like the
fucking grill
computer
up on
into
stage
it.
with like a fucking like a fog machine in it and shit to simulate smoke. It's
Oh,
fucking
that's
great.
Yeah.
It's killer.
that's
It's
fucking
gonna be a good
funny.
time.
Well,
Uh,
and the hard thing with like doing that, like like Jake was saying, is like the killer part about like when you see them live is like they write insane drums. Like I forget they write drums like kind of like in an insane way. Like they want it to be like kind of over the top, like with speed and stuff like that. So um when they play live, it's all like, mechanical drums. So like when they click play, it's like that song won't stop, that drummer won't stop. So it's like people will tell when you miss a note. So it's like if you're not on your P's and Q's, like you could fuck up real easy and like derail the show a little bit. But those dudes just stay like precise, and they play a fucking hell of a live show.
hell yeah. Who else is on that bill?
I think Taking Lives, and Cage of Mutation and us.
I don't
That's
know that other band.
Cage of Mutation is a little bit new. They're kind of along the lines of like Cell Intruder and One Body. Um, it's got some members of other bands within the scene, but yeah, they're kind of fairly new. But
Hell
they're
yeah.
some good guys.
Cool. That'll be a fun show.
Yeah, it's always fun. I can't wait to see all the guys in Pitlord, man.
Hell yeah. Any other bands you guys think other people should listen to?
I mean, like as far as like we can go down through the local list. Like Baptized, She, Blind Scryer. I mean, like they're not death metal, but they're still like
I love Blind Scryer.
yeah. I
Yeah.
love Blind Scryer. Shout out Blair.
What
Um,
a fucking voice he has, dude. Jesus
Dude, it's
Christ.
crazy. I keep wanting them to do like fucking. I keep asking them. I'm like, when are you gonna fucking do a cover of Dio, or when are you gonna do a fucking cover of Thin Lizzy? You know what I mean? Like, I keep hounding them with stuff I want to hear from them, but I just love the way that band operates, and the stuff that they can do. It's really fun. Like just good like classic rock and roll, man. Hard beat.
Yeah, dude, they're all fucking they're stellar musicians too, which is like one thing I'll say about Louisville is we have some amazing fucking musicians right here in
Yeah.
town.
I mean, Ian MacKaye even said back in the '90s that we're a sleeping giant. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like our whole music scene as a whole. So it's just, you know what I mean? It's there's so much talent in this city, and like, Blind Scryer is one of those bands that like is that like every one of them is just stellar musicians. Blair has a voice of a fucking angel. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean
So
that in a
who's your
good way.
favorite band and why is it Blind Scryer?
It's not my favorite band, but it's one of my favorites.
But they fucking rip, dude. They absolutely
They
do. I
rip.
mean, Blair, every time I fucking see him, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, dude. How in the fuck can you be this damn good? Like, but it's, even aside from Blair, just the musicians
Mhm.
within the community are fantastic. Like to watch everyone play is
Yeah, and the fact that I get to be friends with these guys is incredible to me. And they befriended me really like easy. Like, Jake was in the scene before I was, and like these guys when Redivider kind of introduced me to other people. And they kind of took me in, and Blair was one of those people that just immediately was just like, "Hey man, you're cool. Like, what's up?" You know what I mean? Like he kind of like just
yeah.
accepted me, and and same thing with like Bad Wires, dude. Like Connor, man, like he helped us out so much at Logan Street, dude.
That's
Like
another band, dude. Like I absolutely fucking love Bad Wires. Like
Bad
those,
Wires is like I wouldn't say it's for everyone, but dude, like that band is insane.
if you want
It
a great
is,
live show, go
yeah,
see fucking Bad Wires.
exactly. It is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and dude, I think Andy coming in on drums for them he is
Hmm.
such a good fit for them. It's it's fucking spectacular. I just saw him the other
Hmm.
day and I was like, God damn it, Andy, you are such a good fit for them.
Yeah.
Um, what
I
about you
really
guys?
love watching Connor play guitar, man. Like him in Stagecoach Inferno, like I love watching Connor play guitar, man. Um,
You guys need a drummer.
we do. We already have one.
You have a full-time drummer?
Hmm. Mike is now like full time for us. Yeah.
Oh, I did not
Well,
know that.
Volcandra, obviously, he kind of told us was like
Takes priority.
takes priority, but everything else, he's down to write with us. He's down. He's with it, dude. Like,
Oh
and he's
yeah.
good. He's really fucking good. Like,
Agreed. Like he's fucking on his shit. So that's cool. That's a spot you guys don't have to fill. That's fucking dope.
yeah.
Um,
Hopefully, we don't have to fill any more, dude. It's just like hopefully, like
yeah.
this is the lineup, and because I thoroughly enjoy jamming with everyone in this lineup, man. Like Xander's been a great addition. Mike's been a really good addition. And that's why I'm excited to like actually start honing in on new material with the band. Um, like I love this record, but and we've been playing it for a decent amount of time, man. And it's just like let's get some new stuff out,
Yeah, well, I would, I understand that completely. I also think that like this record n to you guys is not new, but to the
Yeah,
rest of the
exactly.
world
Yeah,
Sure.
is, right? So it's like fucking hammer this one in and then work on the new
exactly. Yeah.
material.
No, you're right. I mean, as far as like playing shows and stuff like that, but as like far as like the goals for like the band and stuff, like we're
Yeah,
trying to be dead set on like getting cranking out some new material, and hopefully we should have some stuff here soon.
cool. That's fucking cool. That's fucking really cool.
Yeah,
Golly.
yeah. Jake's coming up with some pretty gnarly shit. Him and Xander, and then like Paul's got a really new one, like good new one, and then he's working on another one that he kind of wrote to my vocal cadence. So I'm pretty excited to kind of hash that one out too. So
Hell yeah. That's where do you guys want to be in like a year?
hopefully we have a new record. That's kind of the goal. So hopefully within a year we have all songs written and we're ready to start recording. So that whether that be like demoing the album um or vice versa, actually sitting down and like recording fully, the actual album. So
Yeah.
um I think that's kind of our goal, is to really take, obviously, like, play some out of town shows, try to get a little bit more out of town. That's kind of our goal this year, is to get a little bit more out of town shows than we did last year. Kind of broaden our sound to the surrounding areas, and then the main goal is get some new content. Be able to present that to people here in Louisville when we play in Louisville, is to just get new music out there. So that's the
Yeah.
main goal at the end of the day.
Okay. That's all right. I want to see you guys on the road. I mean, I always want to, I think you guys fucking get on the road. This is going to sound really, I'm big dreams because that's who I am. Like I'd like to see you guys get on the road for 2 or 3 months, on a couple of different fucking tours. And I don't mean in a row, but over the course of the year. I think that would open up a lot of opportunity for you guys, and that's just me dreaming big. Like I don't know that for a fact. I'm a fucking retard.
Well, I mean, like like Jake's about to say, I already know he's itching to say it, but uh, yeah, we got some stuff in the works that we've been talking with. Can't really give like all the details right now, but uh, we got some stuff trying to be put into the works with something later this fall, and then hopefully this summer or early spring. You know what I mean? So hopefully it all works out. As far as that, we're trying
It
to
will.
plan a 7-day run in the fall, to kind of give us some time to like route dates and stuff like that. So um, that would be really cool. We haven't ever done 7 days in a row. We've done 5 days in a row, so that'd be fucking cool to
Yeah.
actually do. But
If you're gonna do 7, you may as well do 10.
I have a
A month,
I
fuck it.
have to work and pay bills.
Dude,
Good
what
stuff.
is if you go on vacation, how many days off from work do you have? 10.
I have like five. No, I don't get that many.
Yes, you do.
I don't think I do.
Like, yeah, Friday is your last day of work, right?
Yeah.
So you could play Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Back to work.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, it's all in the works. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, that's a good thought, but
I'm just saying, like again, right? My brain is I read this book and it was like the power of one more,
yeah,
right? Well, shit, I can do 7. Well, why can't I do 8? Well, I could. Well, then I could do 9, right? It's just like pushing yourself just one step further. And of course, this is you guys. Who the fuck am I? I'm just here talking to you.
well, and the thing is like, I would love to be a road dog, but to be a road dog, you got to upfront some fucking dough. Like, van rentals, you got a food expense, and hopefully you play a good enough show where you make gas money to the next city. You know what I mean? You're probably not going to make what it takes to rent the van, or if you have a van or whatever have you. You know what I mean?
Just
So it's
depends.
just like,
There are a lot of variables. You know what I mean? Like, and I'll play the devil's advocate because I understand what you're saying. I understand that obviously it takes money to get to every city and to do all those things. And I'm not saying this right, knowing the band and Paul and Avi and everything, like I'm not saying go out there and spend 6 months on the road.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Um, I am just saying, like, I think that in order to do that, or 2 or 3 or 4 weeks on the road, it's about doing it strategically, you know, getting on with a bigger band that is going to pay a decent guarantee, um, or or any number of things. But that's all of that is, again, that's just me going, hey, look at all this shit. You're right over there, Jacob.
Jake doesn't have pants on.
Oh, I didn't even see. He fucking was like, oh shit, my dick was out. I'm out of here. Oh.
I mean, I don't think he saw it, but I definitely saw more leg than he's definitely in some boxers.
He was like, fuck you guys, I'm out of here.
I know, yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't. I saw that and I was just like, what the hell?
That's how you start rubbing your eyes, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Oh
But
fuck.
no, dude, like, it's like that's something we've talked about as a band is like, what can we feasibly do within a year's time, like given everybody's schedule and that's one thing that we've kind of just decided as a band of what's feasible is like, we could do weekend runs, a 3-day run, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that thing you were talking about.
Yeah,
And then like do like one or two like 7-day runs planned out through within the year. You
sure.
know what I mean? So uh that's kind of the thing that we're kind of striving for. We can't sit here and like, be road dogs like as much as we
Yeah.
want to be. Um,
Yeah, you guys are
we feel
old.
like
You
we
have
should
lives
put,
and shit.
you know, if we're going to delegate, as much effort as we can to maximize this thing that we can do with Redivider, given what we have, um, we're going to put that into like studio time and trying to develop songs that can kind of like be great songs at the end of the day, to at least to us, you know what I mean? And like
Well, and
have that be portrayed in the best quality possible to the listener.
that's how it should be, right? You guys don't put out bullshit. And that's you shouldn't, right? As a band, you shouldn't put out bullshit. It should be about putting out the best music that you can, right? That's something that I like. You also want to put on the best show that you can, which is, again, right? That's something I think that draws a lot of people to you guys. And I know you're very like you're very particular on it. If something isn't just, you want it just right, it has to
Mhm.
work this way. This is just how it fucking goes, which is good. At the same time, right? I think, and I have had this conversation a couple of times, right? Like there is a balance.
Mhm.
You don't have to go out and be out on the road for fucking 12 months. Like
Yeah.
that's if everyone was fucking 20 years old and this was the 80s where you could get paid $50 and everyone was like, oh, cool, we can all eat, we all have gas to get to the next road,
Yeah.
next town or whatever. That's a very different story than it is, in current times, especially, everyone's got lives and bills and all of those things. So it's just, like you were saying, it's that balance, like doing those weekend runs and fucking doing 1 or 2 weeks on the road, and then also being strategic in the shows that you play, right? Like, uh,
Um, in an essence, yeah, like I feel like with that, like, with the strategic show placement, like you are right, like, like we want to try and make it if we play in Louisville like a big thing. We want to draw a crowd. So it's just like we've already built up, a decent fan base here in Louisville, and we don't want to like overplay Louisville. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
but it's like also if you look at like what Cell Intruder's doing, they're playing a shit ton of shows, and it's working out for them, and they're doing great right now, and it's awesome to see, and it's great for the scene. You know what I mean? Being able
yeah,
to
it's, I think there's not a wrong way to do it.
no,
As much as people argue, like, oh, you shouldn't oversaturate. Like, well, the reality is like some bands do really well, like saturating a market very, very heavily. Some bands prefer to not saturate it real heavily. And I'm not, either way, I don't really give a shit. I like the fact that you guys don't play here a whole lot because then when you do play, for me, it makes it that much more special.
Yeah, and
Like,
that's kind of like what we're going for at least now is just like hopefully we can like like if we play like our goal is kind of to play like maybe 4 or 5 shows locally a year. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And kind of do it like a quarterly thing. You know what I mean? That way, it's just like that way we can focus on ourselves and like with the band being able to write and stuff like that, and like actually take time to do so, and like not have to be practicing for all these shows all the time. We found that early on, like when we first started as a band. We had that 5 song set and we played our first show and like Tyler was like, "Hey, we gotta stay poised for a second." Like he's like, "We're probably gonna get a lot of show offers, whether we're good or bad." He's like, "We're probably gonna get offered a bunch of shows." He's like, "Be prepared for that." And I was like, "Okay," because like this is the first time I've ever been in a band, so I don't know what goes on.
yeah,
And we did. We started getting tons of show offers, and there was that school of thought is like, hey, play limited shows, make them great shows, or it's like you play, other people will tell us like you play every fucking gig you get and you fucking roll with it. And we did that for like that first year and a half was just we played pretty much every show offer we were offered. And it served us well, and but it kind of got tiring a little bit, for
hmm
us. And it was just like, like we need to focus on writing, we need to actually record this album, we need to do this, that, and the other. It's like if we just keep booking shows, we're not going to get nothing done. You know,
yeah,
it's like we're
yeah.
we're not that band that can like kind of do it all at the same time.
That's where, I think it also comes back to what is the priority, right? And you
Exactly.
guys, for you guys, it's quality product. And that is, it's so weird to say that about music product, because it it is product, it's art. Let's
I
see
mean,
if
it's a product if you want it to be a
let's see
product.
if
Like,
Jake
I
has
mean, at the end
pants
of the
on yet.
day, like when we set stuff up on our merch table, that's a product to me.
Yeah.
But as
You
far
got
as like the music that I create with the band, that's not how I view it. Like it's just more of a like that's my creation and my
sure.
input with the other individuals.
It's
And
art
it's like
that you
yeah,
guys
it's art,
collectively have created. Yeah. I
Um,
like I say product because it's that's how my fucking brain works. Hey Jake, do you have pants on?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
now
Why?
he does. Flip it
Oh,
back.
You need proof? You
no,
Yes.
don't
just want to see my dick. I think that's.
that's I think Jacob saw your dick and was like, "Oh my God, what is happening here?"
It's so big. It's bigger.
That's how it
Bigger than
goes.
I remember. Son of a
Yeah.
bitch. Oh fuck. Well, that's all good, dude. Like I think again, there's no right way or wrong way to fucking do it. It's whatever works for you guys collectively. And you guys are older. Paul has a kid. I I don't think any of the rest of you do. Do
No,
you?
No, I'm a degenerate, man.
he has 4 illegitimate kids.
Sure.
I'm
Oh,
joking.
oh my God. You guys fucking crack me up. Yes, I mean, you just gotta do what you gotta, do whatever's best. I mean, that's
Yeah. And that's the thing because it's like it's always kind of changing. You know what I mean? We get some like pretty enticing show offers, and it's just like, hey, do we play one more? Like do we do this? Do we do that? Or it's like, hey, like you know. And the thing, like booking out of town, like especially like right now, it's kind of like what we get offered. So trying to like make like runs out west or out east or something like that, we still have to like we're at a point where we're booking all that ourselves. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like it's not we don't have people doing that for us. So it's just like, you know, uh, what other people like as fans I don't think goes into that is like, hey, we have to hit up a venue. And then most of those venues are like, hey, like a mag bar, like let's say like we were out of town, we were coming to mag bar to play. It's like Seth's gonna tell you, hey, you have to have one local on the band. So it's like now we gotta go find another local. And it's just like hopefully we can find one that fits within our genre. You know what I mean? It's like you know, all these other things keep stacking up, and it's just like we gotta do that in each city we want to hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, but that's like
Just
that's
part,
part of it.
just part of the
It is part of it. I'm not
backlog.
bitching or complaining about it. I'm just saying like it's just a little bit
What it
like
is.
it just takes a little bit more time, and it's just like it's just hard to do because
No,
we haven't
it's
branched out
we're
like that
basically
far.
what he's just trying to say is we're limited, but I mean we're still going to be doing runs and shit. So
Yeah, yeah, no, I know. We went through most of that while you were not with us.
I kind of assume, yeah, I might drop out again. We'll see.
That's okay. I actually, dude, we've been going for, I mean, little over an hour this time, and
Yeah,
my
yeah.
internet didn't shit out. Yeah. But I have an early morning tomorrow, so I'm gonna rock and roll.
Okay.
Aloha, dog.
Aloha.
Aloha.
I do appreciate you guys taking time out tonight, and I know Jake, you were hungover like a motherfucker, so I really appreciate you hanging out. Although Jacob and I could have handled it, but whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just here for moral support, man.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's just typically my thing, you know.
that's just the moral
Yeah,
support.
just
You're a degenerate
good
with
job,
moral
guys.
support.
Yeah.
All right, well, you guys go have a great fucking night, and are you guys? I know Jake's gonna be there. Jacob, are you gonna be at Metal Monday? Monday?
It's
Oh,
Ooga
is that what the
Booga and
Fleshler
Pale
One Body Six
Horseman.
Graves?
No, it's Ooga Booga and Pale Horseman.
Yep,
That'll be a good time.
you should be there.
Yeah.
I'm a
Leave your house.
hard maybe on that.
Just
Shut up and
be
leave
a
your house. I'll
just
see you Monday.
be a hard yes.
Why don't you meet me at Mag right now,
Now, dog.
pussy?
I'm gonna eat this pizza and play Dave the Diver.
Well, okay. That sounds fun.
It is. Love you. Bye.
All right, see ya
We'll see you guys later.
later.
Good talking to you, Tom.
You too, brother. See ya.